Good morning, everybody. I am Elena Pasoli. I am the exhibition manager of the Bologna Children's Book Fair. For me, it's great pleasure to meet you all in this virtual way. As you know, we have been very busy in the last weeks to create this special online edition of the Bologna Children's Book Fair. And I'm very pleased to tell you a bit about it, how we conceived the project and how we developed it. And we got started from the very heart of the business that usually takes place in Bologna. That's the copyright business. And so we created the Global Right Exchange platform. But immediately after that first step, we realized that we had to do the full program of Bologna. That means our illustrators exhibition. Therefore, we created our own museum, our own art gallery that's entitled MICBF Galleries. And then we thought about the program. We understood, we realized that we had to stick to our role of being in touch continuously with the children's publishing community worldwide. And so we, of course, it was not possible for us to reproduce, to create online the full program of events because it's some 200 every year, but we decided to give life to the most important ones, to those who are the most important events in the Bologna program. So we dedicated some events to the books which won our awards. We had an international conference to ask publishers how they are changing their plans in this emergency, and then meetings with the jurors. And then, of course, we decided to have some events dedicated to the newest project of Bologna. And of course, for us, the wonderful collaboration that we established last year with the Moscow International Book Fair is in the top place. And so here we are with this focus market on Russia. You know, as the Bologna Children's Book Fair, we have quite a wide activity worldwide as organizer of many illustration exhibitions and also as co-organizer of the China Shanghai International Children's Book Fair, as well as the New York Rights Fair that's completely dedicated to the copyright exchange. So in this activity, the newest cooperation is this with the Moscow International Book Fair. We have created together with them a professional program focused on children's books last year in September, and we were working to do a even bigger program next September, and we will do it physically or virtually. Let's see how the world situation goes. But anyway, we will stick to our plans and we will do things together because we have this huge program of creating a brand new children's book fair in 2021 in Moscow. So we are all the more committed in exploring the Russian market of children's books and offering the results of this exploration to all our international community. I wish to thank very much the Moscow International Book Fair. You know, in Bologna, we have been welcoming for many years Russian publishers, and Russian illustrators have been among the artists selected by our international juries for many editions of the illustrators exhibition. But after we have started working together with Moscow, our relationship with Russia has sharply increased. And nowadays, as I told you before, we're really partnering in many events. And I wish to thank also the magazine book industry, because they have immediately got on board in this wider cooperation, and they offered us to do a special issue that our visitors can browse, can look can see at our website in our special area newsstand. It's a special issue all dedicated to children's books, very interesting figures that will be also shown in this meeting. And there's an exploration of in a focus on illustration, a focus on literature, on poetry, and there's the presentation of many great Russian children's publishers who, of course, are members of the BCBF community as well. So I think that we will have plenty of things, interesting things to discover in this meeting. So thank you very much for looking at us, and I wish you to enjoy all the good things that we will be listening to from all these experts. Thank you very much.
Buongiorno nostros hospitalities amici. Dear colleagues, I'm Svetlana Zorina, Editor-in-Chief of the Book Industry magazine. For the first time, we prepared a special issue dedicated to the children's book market in Russia, especially for the Bologna Book Fair. And I'm very grateful for our Italian colleagues, and especially Signora Elena Pazzoli, for the opportunity to hold the book fair in online format. And now my report. Children's book market in Russia, the main trend. The children's book represents the most dynamic and attractive segment of the Russian book market. Over the past 5 to 7 years, the book for children has been an absolute driver of the Russian printed book market. 16 to 18,000 titles of children's books are published annually in Russia. The average circulation is 7 to 8,000 copies. The share of printed children's books in total retail sales of printed books has grown from 21 to 28%, and these figures we can see at this slide. Sales of children's books are significantly ahead of the dynamics of the Russian book market as a whole. In 2019, the market turnover for children's books amounted to 237 million euros, and this is 9% more than in 2018. And I should say that it's a very good result. The e-book market for children is developing much more slowly, since the format of the book and tactile sensation are very important for young readers. The share of digital book products for children is only 5 to 6% of the range of online services. E-books for children make up only about 1% of the turnover of children's publishing houses. But now, because of the coronavirus, the situation is changing. And in school education, the digital format and educational video courses for students prevail. And I think that these changes will be a long-time trend. The structure of children's books publishing today generally corresponds to the structure of demand in the children's segment of the book market. In fact, 2/3 of the book output for children are publication for preschool kids. Book publication for children of secondary and higher school age was on the rise in 2019. But at the same time, there is still not enough literature for teenagers. A wide range of products explain a great interest in children's books shown by all retail channels. Books for children take a big share in bookstores, online shops, FMCG networks. Children's books publishers dare to go beyond the traditional book distributional channel in search of new platforms to present their products to the consumer, actually experiment with FMCG supermarkets and children's goods stores, create their own online shops. And now, I'd like you to tell about translations from other languages. Today, 1/3 of the total number of book for children's audience is translated from other languages. 2/3 of all translations are from English. The following are translations from French, German, Swedish, and Italian. You can see these figures on this slide. The structure of the children's book market is changing now. The share of nonfiction is expanding, and modern educational play programs for early learning are being introduced. There is growing interest in books that educate and entertain at the same time. And now Russian children's literature is enjoying its golden age. There are many young and talented authors and artists in our country, many excellent projects that we are ready to offer for translation into other languages. I very hope that our cooperation with the Bologna Book Fair will allow us to develop children's book market and open new talented Russian books for young readers in other countries. Dear colleague, thank you for your attentions. You will find more information about Russian children's book market in our special issue, and it's presented on the website of the Bologna Book Fair. Thank you very much for your attentions, and I wish you a good health and creative success.
Hello to everybody. My name is Evgeny Kopiev. I'm the CEO of XMO Publishing House. It's the largest Russian publishing house. And thank you to Bologna Book Fair for organizing fair in such a new format. And now I'd like to introduce you some trends on Russian book market and what we do in XMO in the current situation. So as Svetlana said before, we had a very good growth last year, and now Russian children's book market is near 237 million euro, and it's near 28% of the whole book market. And we had also very good forecast for this year. Now let's come to key players. There are near 10 very strong players on the market, and if XMO and ICT really buys a lot of rights, if we come to other players, they are very strong in selling rights. For example, Mosaic Synthesis I recommend as one of the best players on the Russian market, and they have very nice catalog. Also Clever is the same. About product trends. Key growth categories are children nonfiction, as on other markets, manga and comics. And here I show Rick and Morty, and Rick and Morty is one of the best licenses in Russian market. Young adult, as everywhere in the world, detectives, additional reality books. And here we have very nice player, very strong player, it's Divar, and unicorns as everywhere in the world. Translated titles have near 45-47% of the market, and biggest licenses are Harry Potter, Gravity Falls, Minecraft, BTS, and Rick and Morty also. And also Disney have very strong position in Russian market. Now let's come to 2020 trends. Now we see market decline nearly 30-50%. But we are optimistic about the end of the year and think that maybe the decline will be not more than 10%. Also, we see growth in e-com and FMCG channels, but unfortunately, this doesn't compensate offline bookstores closings. We see near total lockdown in offline bookstores all over the country. 3 major players in e-com have increased their market share. It's Labyrinth, Ozon, and Wildberries. And we are happy here that we have a very strong new player who came from closest. It's Wildberries, and now it's one of the best online bookstore for all publishers. Publishers do a lot of online events, and even Red Square Book Festival will be carried out online. It will be our first experience. Of course, we will see on best experience, on best what's done during Bologna Book Fair, and we'll try to use it during our festival. About XMO, our key initiatives are all in digital, and here I'd like to show you some initiatives in digital, what we do. We focus a lot on digital promo, and we have near 10 million monthly contacts with readers every month. Also, we launched XMO Digital, it's self-pub department, and we think it has a huge potential. Now, all our authors have, Russian authors have personal digital accounts where authors can see their sales and auditory profiles, which we receive from our own ebook store. It's Book24, in which we invest a lot of money. Also, we try to shorten time to market for manuscripts to 3 to 6 months with the help of agile methods and new CRM for new authors, because we think that one of opportunity for and one of the good idea for the current situation is to have more titles which are adapted for the current market. And also we launched a big data laboratory for sales forecasts, and we see also here very good results. And I think we can use it in future, and it will help us for our P&L. And at the end, some available titles from our catalog. It's a very beautifully illustrated panorama tales with very nice layout, pop-ups, very beautiful, nice done. And here are at the end contacts of our international rights department who can help you with the catalog, with the whole catalog, and this book especially. Thank you very much for your attention. Good luck, be healthy, and good fair to you. Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to virtual online Russia. Let's try to work in this different environment, in these different circumstances that we unfortunately found ourselves in. And let's talk about children's books. Welcome to our publishing house, which is called A Walk Through History. Someone may know us by our website, peshkombooks.ru, but we're still the same. We mostly work with nonfiction children's books, and since 2011, we've created and designed more than 50 titles, unique titles on different themes. You may have seen us in Bologna last year and the year before one, so these are some memories from those days, and hope to see you in Bologna 2021 and in Moscow 2021. So in Bologna, we work in both directions. We buy rights and we sell rights. So we've got about 50 titles, as I said, of our own books presented here on our stand last year, but also we buy rights. So half of our titles now have been translated from different languages. So welcome everyone to work with us. 5 of our books were selected last year for the exhibition in Moscow that was organized by Grazia Gotti. And of course, we are very proud of the fact that the Russian nonfiction books were highly appreciated by the international community. These are one of the books from the exhibition. And well, sorry, these are the new title that you would have met if we were with you in Bologna now, called Amazing Parasites. Really a topic that doesn't seem very attractive, but the sales are doing fine. The book is working for us very, very good. So again, welcome everyone to have a look at these nice drawings by a young Russian illustrator, Fyodor Vladimirov. Again, book is called Amazing Parasites. The other title that we were preparing for Bologna this year is a history of the theater, going back to ancient Greek theater, then going through different types of theater, the East ones like Kabuki, the Shakespeare theater, the European Middle Age theater, the Russian theater, and opera and ballet, puppet shows, well, everything. Unfortunately, due to the current situation, we haven't been able to publish this title yet in Russia, but I hope we'll do it this fall. So again, welcome to look at the full PDF. It's wonderful. The next one we were preparing for Bologna as well, and it has been published this spring in Russia, the history of alpinism, the history of mountain. A very nice title, talking about different things, women alpinism, the first, of course, the first people on all the known for the time being mountains. That was my idea to make this book, so I am really proud we've done it. Welcome to again look at the full PDF if you want. These are one of our bestsellers from last year's, the metro and the railways. That's the pictures from the book. You might have seen it. It's been translated into several languages already. We also do nonfiction for the little ones, and it's been doing well, I can say. So these are a series of 3 books by the same author and illustrators about animals, how they sleep, how they make families, etc. This my favorite one are the penguins. You know, the penguins, the father stays with the eggs and the mother goes shopping or something. So that's an example that I use with my kids when explaining them how a family should work. Well, anyway, this one also has been translated into several languages by now. The mathematics, a book that we've been working on about 2 years, I would say, during 2 years. So that a thick book may be a bit complicated, but a nice one. History of ideas. The rights has been sold to China for the time being. We are discussing with the publishing house from Singapore. Again, are welcome to have a look if you are interested in topics like mathematics. The new thing for us is a collaboration with another publishing house. In this case, it's Mondadori, an Italian publishing house, who's been publishing the Davide Morosinoto's novels. And for example, this one called Red Stars, a novel about World War II, World War II in Russia, in Leningrad, and the rest of the country, has been translated in many languages and now into Russian. But we've made, in collaboration, as I said, with the author and the publishing house, we've made it a little bit different layout compared to the original. So we have added the new illustrations, we have added the explanations from historians to make children understand how things have been going back to that time. Because if you are just reading a novel, or part of the novel is the diaries between a brother and a sister, still, if you are reading a diary and you've got no idea how the life was organized back then, it might be difficult for you to feel how it would have been with you if you found yourself in during World War II in Soviet Union. So we also added some real diaries into the text. So as I said, it's a new experience for us, a good one. A book has been just out before the before this coronavirus lockdown. So we are happy. It is out of print now, and although it's only in Russian, but again, a very interesting experience for us, and we are happy to work in this way with other publishing houses. This one is a new project we are working on now by Andrei Zhvalevsky, who is a well-known Russian novelist for teenagers, for children. So this is nonfiction title, looking forward to the 60th anniversary of Gagarin's first journey into space. Again, if you are interested, it's now the time to discuss the rights to make it ready for the 2021, the year of the anniversary. So welcome. And as I said, welcome to Moscow 2021. And before that, I hope to see you in Bologna 2021. These are our contact details. And I thank you for your attention. Please contact us. We are happy to work with you. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, everyone who was helping to organize Bologna online. That was a brilliant idea, and I am glad that it's working out. Thank you, Elena, and all the team. And I do hope we'll see each other in person soon. And again, welcome to Russia when it's possible. And goodbye for now.
Hello, I'm Evgenia Ekodomova, Foreign Rights Manager from Samokat Publishing House. And today I will tell you how one small publisher helps its big country to become a part of the global picture books market. First of all, I would like to thank Elena Pazzoli and the whole staff of the Bologna Book Fair for all the online opportunities which they offered during these challenging times. And many thanks to the whole publishing community for being so strong and supportive. Samokat was set up in 2003 to inject new energy in the conservative post-Soviet market. Our mission is to create the Russian market of modern children's books according to the highest world quality standards. Our dialogue with readers of all ages is open and fair. We break stereotypes, build cultural bridges, and respect human values. Today's modern book market can't exist without the visual language. This is something new for conservative Russian parents who demand texts for their money. We consider picture books to be a strong instrument which helps parents in their dialogue with children and initiates them into the world of reading. We combine the modern air and the tradition of the Russian graphics represented by such artists as Vladimir Favorsky, Vladimir Lebedev, Alisa Poret. Thus, we create the new picture book market in Russia. As a result, we are the only Russian publisher ever shortlisted for the prestigious award, Bologna Prize for the Best Children's Publishers. It happened twice, in 2018 and this year. Samokat strives to combine careful text selection, high-quality translations, and innovative arrangement of book space. In these 17 years, we have published about 600 titles, 2/3 of which are translations from 27 languages. Initially, we mostly dealt with text, not with picture books, but unlike Western originals, our books for teens have illustrations and handmade lettering. Readers across Russia and abroad recognize our books for their unique visual style. Introducing the Russian audience in the world of illustration, we publish such stars of picture books as Tommy Ungerer, Peter Sis, David McKee. Their books didn't become our bestsellers, but their publication was quite important. In fact, Samokat's mission is not so much business, but rather educational and cultural. And recently we've got back to those great names and launched the series of Legends of Illustration. It will explain the basics even to small kids and embrace the best examples by Leo Leone, Tommy Ungerer, Wolf Erlbruch, Beatrice Alemania, and others. All our experience of publishing foreign titles led us for sure to creating our own content. Our vivid activity and demand attract young Russian illustrators, clever and talented, who share our values and vision. Our first big success was The Apartment by Alexandra Litvina and Anna Desnitskaya. This book combines the element of a picture book and historical nonfiction to tell the story of a huge country through everyday items. It is published in 3 languages, English, German, and French. 65,000 copies are printed in the world, and another 6 foreign publications are in work. It won many prestigious prizes in Russia and abroad. Trans-Siberian is a new bestseller in Russia and it has great potential in the world. We've sold more than 10,000 copies for the first 2 months at Russian market, and we are working to arrange a co-edition with foreign publishers. We provoke the demand by educating our readers, and we develop the offer by creating new possibilities for young illustrators. There is only one big Russian contest of book illustration, the image of the book, which exists for 10 years. 3 years ago, we arranged our own contest of book projects, The Book Inside. We offer the winners to work hard with our editorial team to turn their book ideas into life. We cooperate with the mentors of the modern illustration in Russia, lecturers of the British High School of Art and Design and High School of Economics. We are excited to be at the center of picture books creation in Russia to help young illustrators to grow as professionals and to have the winners in our rights catalog. Today, our rights catalog includes about 50 titles, and last year we made 26 contracts for selling rights. 21 of them are for picture books. Next year, our titles will be translated into 17 foreign languages. We are proud that all our efforts bring the results, and today the artists who we work with have very different styles and visions. They have their unique languages and different interests. It's important for us to support their originality and independence. That's why we can present to the world such a diversified catalog. Micro Superheroes by Olga Posokh is a series about real creatures who possess different superpowers, like survival ability, regeneration, and visibility. Olga is an artist and biologist and knows perfectly how to tell stories with science facts through illustrations. The books by Alla Belova tells what unites people, animals, and insects living on the earth. Her series turns taboo subjects like farting or milk feeding into the way to examine the human body. The recent global experience shows that in any circumstances, it's important to know yourself and to cope with emotions. The book, The Volcano That Was Angry by Natasha Baiduja, examines negative emotions, which a child can feel and has the right for. We all know how important it is to remember about origins, and especially today when we have to be on distance with the elder relatives. The book by a Ukrainian illustrator Alexander Shatokhin, Our Old Tree, speaks about our family history, continuity, traditions, life and death. Silent books is what helps us to be yourself and to reflect. Grasshopper by Tatiana Ukhova is our debut of a silent book. It's a nature-respecting story about friendship and learning from mistakes. It was already twice selected by the curators of Depictos community of picture book professionals for their exhibition of 100 outstanding picture books. Our Apartment and Trans-Siberian are also in this selection. Today, during the lockdown, we support our readers and show how the crisis brings new opportunities. It's a true occasion for us to develop our online connections with the audience. Thus, we use the popular isolation game of recreating art masterpieces at home, but we offer to take our readers' favorite children's books. Our Samokat isolation is a special approach to overcome the lockdown. Small readers send us their interpretation of their favorite books every day. That makes us laugh together a lot. It's priceless to stay at home and at the same time to feel that you are part of a big community with the same values. We invite other publishers to join this game with their readers and to have fun. We hope that the cooperation between the new Moscow International Children's Book Fair and Bologna Book Fair will be long-term, as we see lots of potential in it for Russian publishers and, of course, readers. We already saw a great exhibition of 1,001 outstanding projects. 16 Russian publishers were selected for this exhibition too, and 5 of them were published by Samokat. We thank for this honor the curator, Grazie Gotti, and thank you for your attention.
Hello from rainy and drizzling Moscow. This is Igor Grizhuk, Foreign Rights and Licensing Head at Compass Guide Publishing House. I welcome you all here at this portal, where I'm going to tell you a little bit about us, our publishing house, and about our strategies aimed at the global expansion and presenting Russian middle grade and YA literature to the world around us. Since our establishment in 2008, we at Compass Guide have been always aiming at promoting and advocating contemporary Russian literature. Here, I would say that we are quite successful, not only we, but many of our other competitors and rivals in Russia. So what I would like to say and emphasize our uniqueness in terms of YA and middle grade literature in Russia, and why it might be interesting for you. Let me put your attention to the presentation where I briefly outline some of the key points that might be interesting for you and give you some ideas and facts about the contemporary middle grade and YA literature in my country. Firstly, I would like to say again about our mission and how we can contribute to this segment of literature in my country. Since our establishment, our mission has always been to deal with the difficult issues, to destroy the spiral of silence concerning some really vital and essential problems that might be really interesting for the YA and middle grade readers. And the last pillar, that is a determination of our publishing policy, is to create a new and up-to-date language and space to communicate between the readers and the publisher. Since our establishment, as I said, we have been always focusing on doing with the young, fresh, and budding voices from Russia. Here, I would like to briefly say about 3, I would say, most important and vital titles for us that have already become and turned into international bestsellers, not to mention about Russian sales and figures. But here I would not only to talk about figures, sales and numbers, but also about some really important issues and problems that are arising within these titles and that are, on the one hand, can be a brilliant example of the contemporary Russian high-end literal prose. On the other hand, they can be like a new, fresh voice of the Russian literature of the 21st century. The first title that I would like to put your attention to is Sugar Child by Olga Gromova. This is a hilarious and brilliant example of outstanding Russian literature. The title has been already sold to 15 countries and territories, despite its being released not a long time ago. The first release in Russia was in 2017, and since then we have already sold more than 72,000 copies in my country. So as I said, the title is The Rights Sold to 15 Countries and Territories. And here briefly in a couple of words, why we think this title might be important and why it can determine the Russian landscape in the children's literature. because this is a really outstanding title about love, friendship, survival, about two main heroes, protagonists, females, 5-year-old girl and her mom, who have been sent to the concentration camp in the Central Asia in the 1930s in Russia. This is a title about survival, about friendship, about freedom, how to find good people everywhere and how to tackle the problems despite of all these challenges and barriers. We strongly believe that this literature, the title like this, can brilliantly illustrate the unique character of our middle grade and YA literature. Another title that I would like to put your attention to is The City Without War. The family authors from Omsk, Svetlana and Nikolai Ponomarev, have brilliantly written this dystopian retrofuturism title, where the main protagonist, 15-year-old hero, is set in the center of moral dilemma, whether to continue to serve the ruler who is not quite loyal to his army, or whether to break his word and to continue doing his way. Another example of great YA and middle grade literature from Russia. These rights also sold to 6 countries. And the last title that I would like to put your attention to is the family saga of Maria Bershatskaya, Big Little Girl series. This is a very funny, adventurous, and hilarious series comprising of 12 volumes inside. The story tells us about one little funny and very humorous girl and her everyday adventures in a big megapolis. This is another example of a mass market commercial literature that still has universal plot, characters, and idea inside. This author, Anna Zinkova, with her title, is the first winner of our competition launched last year, and her title is really brilliant and breathtaking, I would say. Here, the author is a young lady from Minsk, Belarus, who writes and reads in Russian, and this is an example of a new generation of Russian authors who might be appealing to the international market. Here, dear colleagues, let me conclude my speech, my report, with a couple of issues, a couple of points for the further discussion and further conversation with you. What I would like to say about Russian contemporary YA and middle grade literature in conclusion of my speech. So, it can be a point of interest and attraction for foreign publishers despite of the global crisis in the publishing industry. The second idea that I would like to outline: modern Russian authors are quite competitive on the international stage and can be and deserve to be better promoted and advertised all around the globe. Difficult and challenging topics typical for the classical Russian literature can be reshaped and rewritten by budding Russian authors and get more global success and praise. Here, all in all, we are quite sure that the contemporary YA Russian literature is really attractive, and according to our notes and according to our expertise and knowledge, it has already found its readers and publishers all around the globe, in the Greater Middle East, in Southeastern Asia, in Central Europe, in Scandinavia, and in the China, of course. So, for me, just a final word to say you goodbye and to welcome you all at our site, or to see you on the spots all around the globe, either in Bologna, Frankfurt, Sharjah, Shanghai, whatever. See you all and keep safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrei Gelmiza. I'm a head of Moscow International Book Fair. Let me invite you to visit our fair in September, to meet Russian publishers, to discover books, authors, and illustrators, to boost your international rights sales, and to make new collaborations. We also will be very glad to see you at the opening of the new International Children's Book Fair in Moscow in 2021. Welcome to Russian.